Hello and welcome back to Beyond Veil Background Information. We're doing a character profile today, and it's one of the Viper clan. In fact, it's Selene Viper from the third book, Ancient Venom. We're going to do it the way I usually do with the profiles, which is a brief quote, and then I'll either tell you a little bit about the inspiration for the character, or I'll literally just give you the character profile. So, let's take it. She was so happy she was currently hanging off the side of the boat, staring into the deep water where nasty-looking fish were staring up at her in fear. She was practically kneeling off the side, her backside wiggling in the air as she waved her hands at a very large selection of locals on their fishing boats that were staring at her with grins. "Can I have some bacon to get one of these fish out? It's got massive fangs. No, wait, I think I can grab it." It's a quote from Ancient Venom. Last June I published Ancient Venom, book 3 of the Viper clan, and the main focus of the story was this crazy young girl, Selene. She's one of those vibrant and crazily fun women that, well, you can't help but adore them. Selene can be naive, silly, and, well, downright embarrassing, but she's one of those wonderful characters that you can't help but enjoy, especially with her natural ability to annoy her Uncle Taliesin. Name, Selene Viper. Position, she's an art restorer. Story featured in Ancient Venom and mentions in others. Role, protagonist. Gender, female. Description, long silvery blue locks of hair in dazzling waves that seem to go white in the moonlight. She keeps it growing out as long as she can, but always trims it when she reaches the point that she can sit on it. Selene has her father's brilliant amber-coloured eyes, and they are rather large and pull people in. Her expression is naturally smiley, she bears a smile sweeter than anyone else's, and is often mused at her constantly smiling even as a baby. She has soft skin with a slight edge of tan to it, which becomes more prominent under the sunlight, and she has long, delicate fingers. She has a pronounced curvy body and the prominent backside of her family, but the larger bust of all her sisters are about an F-cup. She is 5'8" in height and weighs 16 stone. She can never seem to make herself lighter, and she has a slightly chubby tummy, but nothing pronounced, so no one might ever call her fat or weighty. Realm, the Veil. Abilities, her happy nature and her willingness to try and be brave. She can turn into a pale bat, and she's got quite a good punch to her when she wants to. She has the usual vampire powers, but also seems to have a surprising amount of luck to her. Master, God. Personality, Selene is always happy, she always looks on the bright side, and will do anything to make people smile, whether it's to hug them, make a joke, or just hold their hand. She always believes that there's nothing in the world not to smile over, and she's incredibly adorable and loving with her family, putting them above her own happiness. Whenever she is sad, though, she holds it in, always trying to find something happier to focus on, no matter how painful. Relation. There's a lot on here, really. Xiuhcoatl Viper. Her father, she always loved him and tried to copy his smile and positive attitude, and like all of them, misses them greatly. Selene Viper. Her mother, she loves her lots, but sometimes she finds her mother is less willing to be as active as her, but she learned how to paint from her mother. Xiuhcoatl Viper. Her eldest brother, Selene and Xiuhcoatl, are opposite ends of the scale of personality, and in truth, sometimes Selene wishes that her brother would be more happy, but he tends to think she's quite silly. Gaston Viper. Her second brother and cubbier brother of the eldest two. Gaston and Selene have a similar jovial personality and adventurous nature, and always support each other. Noel Viper. Selene adores Noel. He'll protect her no matter what, and she considers him the wisest of all her siblings and the one to ask questions to. Elaine Viper. Her eldest sister. The pair have a tentative relationship, mainly because Elaine will sometimes have the same kind of thought on Selene as Xiuhcoatl. She sees them as both very similar, and they hate that. Theodosius Viper. Her beloved older brother Selene and Dia have a close bond because he always used to be around her growing up, and she was always the most aware of his emotional fragility and the most accepting and willing to help him no matter what. Beauregard Viper. He loves to torment and prank Selene, and the pair barely see their age gap, seeing each other as almost the same age, so they're quite childish around one another. She does feel saddened by Beau's later decisions in life, but she loves her baby brother no matter what. Odette Viper, her younger sister, they get along, and sometimes Selene is the only person Odette will be playful around aside from Beauregard, and they have a lot of fun together. But Selene also respects that Odette prefers to be more ladylike than her, so she tries not to get in her way very often. Theodora Viper, her baby sister and the first baby she gets to be around. Theodora is more hyper and troublesome than her, but just as lively and fun. Taliesin Vilmore II. Somehow, Selene is always where Taliesin doesn't want her to be, and they are curiously linked to one another. She's the only baby he found himself having to handle, and she loves him unconditionally, giving him hugs even when he hates it. Xiuhcoatl. The strange guardian she meets, Selene is very pleased to meet him and grows quickly attached to him and his interest in showing her around and being her friend. Xiuhcoatl, the leader of the elders, Selene is reminded of her Uncle Francis, who she barely got to meet, and she's very pleased to meet him and know she can learn anything from him. History. Born as a surprise to everyone, especially Taliesin, who was present just at the right time whilst Theo was rushing back to try and get there. She made everyone startle with her first word being bollocks and gorgeous bum, and since then she never stopped smiling. Selene grew up with lots of boys always chasing her, lots of girls desperate to be her friends, and everyone was her friend in the household staff. There is no one that doesn't smile when they see Selene smile, and she does tend to get away with things because of it, and can be quite sneaky. She is very good at cuddling people when they're down, and making everyone cheerful, but best of all the things she is the only one that can really make Dio happy. It is from him she steals her favourite book, and reads of the curious adventures of the figure Mjolnir and his meeting with Yvonne, and their story of romance, as well as his wish to bring his wife's brother and intended back together. She is enchanted by the story, and she begins to look for other romance books in Dio's room, only to find his erotica that he writes and enjoy it completely, although she constantly gets in trouble when he catches her. It becomes part of their little secret, because Dio always writes these beautiful romances between the characters, and well, she does find it very interesting what the characters will do. However, when she starts to have the boys really show interest and to have suitors, she doesn't find any of these romantic characters within them. Only these boys desperate for money or her looks, or to impress their mothers. She doesn't find anyone really interesting, and feels the desire that she too wants to go on an adventure. When the situation occurs and she loses her father, suddenly Selene finds it hard to smile because her loving father was gone, and then she finally gets a chance to go somewhere exotic and use her painting. And when she gets there, she's suddenly alive and excited all over again, and then she finds something not only extraordinary, but someone. Final comments. I haven't drawn a picture of her before, so the picture you have is the first I have, and it's a dragon. Sorry, I'm just not very good at drawing humans, so please bear with my heart. Still, I adore Selene. I adore Selene a lot. She's tons of fun to write. Thank you. Bye.